Many people believe that after 60, life should finally become peaceful. The children are grown. Work responsibilities slow down. The busy years seem to be behind us. But something strange often happens instead. Many older adults begin to feel more worried, more tired, and sometimes even more lonely than before. The truth is, it is often not money or health that steals peace in later years. It is small habits that quietly follow us from the past. Habits we learned when we were younger and busier. Habits that once helped us survive, but now only bring stress. Today, I want to talk gently with you about something important. There are several mistakes many people continue making after 60 without even noticing. These mistakes slowly drain energy and peace from the years that should feel calm and meaningful. In this video, we will talk about 7 foolish mistakes that many people carry into their later years. When you understand these habits and begin letting them go, life can feel lighter again. The days feel calmer. The heart feels softer. And the years ahead can become some of the most peaceful years of your life. Let us begin with the first one. Mistake number 1. Holding on to worries that no longer belong to you. Worry is like carrying a heavy bag that you forgot to put down. For many seniors, the bag becomes heavier each year. Even after raising children, solving problems, and surviving many difficult seasons, the mind still searches for new things to worry about. Many parents continue worrying about their children long after those children have become adults. They lie awake at night thinking about their son's job, their daughter's marriage, or their grandchildren's future. But there comes a moment in life when worry stops helping anyone. I once spoke with a man named George who was 72 years old. George told me that every night he struggled to sleep. His mind kept racing with thoughts about his son's business problems and the rising cost of living. George felt responsible for fixing everything. I asked him a simple question. I said, "George, when you were 30 years old, did your father solve your problems for you?" He smiled and said no. That is when he realized something important. His son was already strong enough to handle his own storms. George did not need to carry that weight anymore. After that conversation, George slowly began letting go of worries that did not belong to him. And something surprising happened. He began sleeping better. His mornings felt calmer, and his conversations with his son became lighter and more joyful. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give our children is not constant worry. It is peaceful confidence in their ability to live their own lives. Mistake number 2. Trying to prove you are right in every conversation. As we grow older, we gain wisdom. We have seen more of life. We have learned lessons through experience. But sometimes this wisdom can quietly turn into stubborn pride. Many families struggle because older parents feel the need to correct or challenge every opinion that younger people share. It might be about politics. It might be about parenting styles. It might be about how the world has changed. But constant arguments rarely bring peace. I once knew a woman named Linda who was 68 years old. Linda loved her daughter deeply, but they argued often. Linda believed her daughter was raising the grandchildren the wrong way. Every visit turned into a discussion about discipline, food choices, or school decisions. One day, Linda noticed something painful. Her daughter began visiting less often. Linda later told me that she sat alone in her living room one evening and asked herself a difficult question. Was being right more important than feeling close to her daughter? The answer surprised her. The next time her daughter visited, Linda made a quiet decision. She listened more. She spoke less. When she disagreed, she chose kindness instead of correction. Slowly, their relationship changed. The tension disappeared. Laughter returned to the room. Linda later told me something beautiful. She said that peace arrived the moment she stopped trying to win every conversation. There is a gentle wisdom that comes with age. Sometimes the most powerful words we can choose are no words at all. Mistake number 3, living only for your children and forgetting your own life. For many parents, life has always been about sacrifice. They worked hard to provide food, education, and opportunities for their children. They stayed awake during difficult nights. They solved problems and offered support whenever it was needed. But after 60, this habit of constant sacrifice can quietly become exhausting. Children grow up. They build their own families. They face their own challenges. Yet many parents continue giving every ounce of their time, energy, and resources. A man named Robert once shared his story with me. Robert was 70 years old. For years, he spent most of his time helping his son. He watched the grandchildren every weekend. He loaned money when problems appeared. He postponed his own plans again and again. One day, Robert realized something sad. His own world had become very small. He had stopped meeting friends. He had stopped traveling. He had even stopped working in his garden, something he once loved. Robert eventually decided to make a small change. He began spending a few hours each week doing things that brought him joy again. He visited old friends. He planted flowers in his backyard. He took quiet walks in the morning sun. And slowly his life began to feel full again. Loving your children does not mean losing yourself. In fact, children often feel more comfortable when their parents live calm, independent lives. When you take care of your own happiness, you also give your family a powerful example of how to age with grace and dignity. This simple shift can bring a surprising amount of peace to the years ahead. If you stay with me, then write "continue" below. Let us continue with the next mistakes that quietly steal peace from the later years of life. Mistake number 4, trusting everyone with your personal matters. As we grow older, our circle of friends often becomes smaller. Some friends move away. Some relationships slowly fade. Others leave this world before us. Because of this, many seniors feel a natural desire to talk more openly with neighbors, acquaintances, or distant relatives. Sharing thoughts can feel comforting. It can feel like a way to release heavy emotions. But there is an important lesson that many people learn too late. Not everyone who listens truly cares about your peace. Some people are curious rather than caring. They enjoy hearing personal stories, but may repeat those stories to others later. A woman named Grace once shared something very honest with me. Grace was 75 years old and had recently lost her husband. During that lonely time, she began talking more with people in her neighborhood. She shared her worries about money. She spoke about small disagreements with her children. She opened her heart because she felt she needed someone to listen. At first it felt comforting, but a few months later she began noticing something strange. Other neighbors seemed to know details about her life that she had never told them directly. Grace later told me something that stayed in my mind for a long time. She said that peace returned to her life when she began speaking less about personal matters and protecting her privacy more carefully. There is a quiet strength in choosing what to share and what to keep inside your own circle of trust. Not every detail of your life needs to become a public conversation. After 60, peace often grows stronger when your circle becomes smaller and your words become more thoughtful. Mistake number 5, helping others at the cost of your own health and peace. Kindness is a beautiful quality. Many seniors spent their entire lives helping others. They helped neighbors fix problems. They supported relatives during difficult times. They offered their time, energy, and generosity without hesitation. But there comes a moment in life when too much giving can quietly become harmful. After 60, the body needs more rest. energy becomes more valuable. Yet many people still feel guilty when they say no. A man named Henry once told me about this struggle. Henry was 74 years old and known in his neighborhood as the person who could fix anything. If someone had a broken chair, a leaking pipe, or a problem with their car, they would knock on Henry's door. Henry helped everyone. But one winter, he became very sick and had to stay inside for several days. During that time, he noticed something painful. The same people who always asked for help rarely came to check on him. Henry realized that helping others is meaningful, but only when it comes from a place of balance. When kindness turns into constant obligation, it slowly drains the joy from life. After that experience, Henry began setting gentle boundaries. He still helped when he truly wanted to, but he also gave himself permission to rest, relax, and protect his own time. The people who truly respected him understood, and the ones who disappeared were never truly friends to begin with. Learning to say no is not selfish. It is simply a way of caring for your own well-being. Mistake number 6. Comparing your life with the lives of others. Comparison is one of the quietest thieves of happiness. It works slowly and silently. Many seniors begin comparing their lives with the people around them. Someone else seems healthier. Someone else travels more often. Someone else's children visit every week. These comparisons can create a quiet sadness, even when life is actually full of blessings. A woman named Helen once shared a story that revealed something important. Helen was 78 years old and often felt jealous of her sister. Her sister had a larger family, more visitors, and seemed to live a very active life. One day the two sisters had a long conversation. During that talk, Helen's sister confessed something surprising. She said she sometimes envied Helen's peaceful routine and quiet independence. That moment changed Helen's perspective. She realized that every life carries both visible joys and hidden struggles. What looks perfect from the outside often feels different on the inside. When we stop comparing, something wonderful happens. We begin to notice the beauty that already exists in our own lives. Peace grows when gratitude replaces comparison. Mistake number 7. Ignoring your own happiness. Perhaps the saddest mistake many seniors make is believing that happiness belongs only to younger people. Some people slowly stop doing the things that once made them feel alive. They stop painting. They stop traveling. They stop learning new hobbies. They tell themselves that joy is no longer important at their age. But life does not lose its value simply because the years have passed. I once met a man named Frank who was 80 years old. Frank loved painting when he was younger, but he stopped many years ago because his hands had begun to shake. One afternoon I asked him a simple question. I asked if painting still made him feel happy. He smiled and said yes. So I asked him another question. If it still brings joy, why not continue? A few weeks later, Frank showed me his newest painting. The lines were not perfect. The colors blended in unusual ways. But the joy in his eyes was unmistakable. He told me that painting again made him feel alive. Happiness after 60 does not need to be loud or dramatic. It can be simple and quiet. A morning walk, a warm cup of tea, a conversation with a friend, a hobby that fills the heart with calm satisfaction. Life after 60 is not the waiting room of life. It is a chapter filled with wisdom, reflection, and the chance to finally live with gentleness. When you release unnecessary worries, let go of arguments, protect your privacy, set healthy boundaries, stop comparing yourself to others, and allow happiness back into your life, something beautiful begins to happen. The days feel lighter, the heart feels calmer, and the years ahead become peaceful instead of heavy. If this message spoke to your heart, we would love to hear from you. Write peaceful years in the comments and tell us where you are watching from today.